So it is May 21st, 11 a.m., and I'm making this video just to keep me from trading. I don't want to be forcing anything else today because I already had a pretty solid day focusing on my patterns. And really, I just want to go over what I did. And I will do that by going over my watch list here from the other night. So May 20th, 2024, I wrote GME and AMC. The pattern was a listed first green day. I said, obviously we're at the biggest runners in the market there. But the key thing that I kept saying was it's not going to work in your time frame. So you got to be patient. I was looking for a few keys like being green above VWAP, holding current day and previous day lows, and breaking the high of days. And I said if it didn't do that, I would ignore it. Patience, and I would rather be buying higher later in the day when they're green, when they're above VWAP, when they're confirming setting support levels, which is confirmation, than buying early and guessing. So that being said, if we look at AMC and GME, AMC first, because I did guess a little bit in the morning here into the spike. It consolidated, spiked. I bought it 479, 480 right here. Basically, the top of the morning. Dropped right back down, and immediately, I saw that. I was looking at GME just kind of fading, going sideways, and it didn't hit my triggers. We were not holding VWAP. We were not breaking out above the highs. Let me just throw an alert just in case it comes back later, but we're not breaking above the highs. We're holding down in the lower end of the channel. We're not green. So I said, why the hell am I buying this? Everyone's probably looking to buy it. They're all going to get stopped out. Screw it. Leave it alone. Who cares? Um, yeah, I'm still watching it for later in the day if they start consolidating and really holding for, at this point, hours. I need to see them hold till 2 o'clock and onward for me to play. I think it will be better odds after long consolidation over VWAP, ideally green. I'd rather be buying at 5 when it confirms than 480 here and guessing. But that's that. Took a small loss, like 200-300 bucks on AMC, and then just left it alone. I said, screw it. So FFIE was a first red day. I said it's worth it because it's the biggest runner in the market, and it's technically not a first red day because it had that big first red day here, but I'm just playing a first red day like type of pattern today, just a part of the framework. I said I'm looking for a gap down, short using the 182 risk and scale if it confirms. Lots of room to go down, and I'll scalp the dips if the liquidity's there. So FFIE, looking at the daily chart, massive runner. Had kind of like an inside consolidation day the other day where you could have shorted it, played the dips, whatever. And then today we gapped down and we were doing everything I was looking for it to do. I mean, we were staying heavy, under VWAP, red, cracking the morning lows. But the problem for me was the range. The range just kind of wasn't there for me. I wanted a spike into green red, but really the risk reward wasn't there for me. I wanted a good spike into green red. Yeah, sure, I could have been shorting the low a day cracks, the bounce with a 152 risk, but that's not my game. I feel like I'm scalping for pennies here. I would have rather seen it spike, through 160, had a 20-cent risk and see if it could fade all day. Maybe it does that right here because now it seems like the low of the day has been set. Normally I notice lows on first red they set around like 10, 10:30, and bounces happen, 11, 11:30, 12. Let's see if this one though is a all-day grinder back up or if it, just kind of tops and fails. I don't know. All I know is I played the dip, locked in, few $100, little under 1,000. Just a classic dip buy, huge volume, huge liquidity. The price action started speeding up to the downside, so I just couldn't ignore that. Other than that, I was looking at Duo for a list of first screen day, classic setup. Duo, Just a classic listed first green day setup. I didn't love it because it was gapping down so much, but we were holding the previous day lows. We did have good volume. We are still we traded pretty good volume today, and it is still early. Interesting perk here too. You could, if I see this consolidate for a little longer under view up, we perk above it. Maybe I rebuy with a risk here or a green red for that secondary attempt. But I'm usually super patient on those. Oh, alert on AMC. We'll check on that later because it tends to always fail, so I bother right now. But Duo, yeah, was a great play. I'll go minute by minute here. And it opened, dropped. I thought this was pretty good volume it was trading down here. So I said, all right, once we break through the highs, I'll be a buyer. I bought, got a really good average, really good size. I had 20,000 shares from a 1.03 average. Started spiking. And then it kind of got weak in here. The volume dried up and it faded and cracked here. But it didn't break the risk. But for me, I'm very risk averse and I understand the listed first green day pattern. Usually they tend to work, I call it quickly and without question, usually within the morning session. So the fact that it started failing, I thought, maybe it's just going to fail this morning, roll over, and then maybe it will come back later for a secondary attempt, as I call it. So I said, I'm going to be cutting this and looking for confirmation later. I want it to hold here and I want to prove to me, force me to get back into. My goal was to get back in with half size. No, I wasn't just selling into one. I waited for the slight bounce here and I was selling 105, 106 my shares. But yeah, it immediately reclaimed, started churning some volume again. And I was rebuying right away at 111. It was just so quick that I only bought a quarter size more, so I only bought 5,000 shares. And, it ended up working out really well. Started spiking. I was selling into the push, and I got my best sells at 151, and that was it. I'm done with it. Like I said, maybe it sets up again for a secondary attempt. I mean, looking at this daily chart, maybe we come back up, break out. I mean, what are the odds we really go back towards 2 today? I don't know. I don't know how many shorts are in this quite yet, but I'll feel it out. I'll see. When I'm not sure, I usually give things a little more time. I love the volume, love the liquidity, love what it's doing right now, but it seems like I just need to give it a bit more time. If I don't have a definitive decision, maybe let it establish a better support level, better risk, better consolidation, and I'll give it a secondary attempt again, but smaller size, of course, maybe 3,000 shares or something, depending on the risk reward. And that's the way I look at that. And then FLJ was the same exact thing. I said list of first screen day, wait for the triggers. Volume was the key. Volume needs to churn. No volume equals no play. So this one, I really wanted to buy it here in the morning as it was going green, but I had to stick to my rule. I said no volume, no play. This is not much volume. And then, of course, the one that I decide not to, you can sometimes start in because the risk reward was so tight. This is what I mean by quickly and without question. If it doesn't work rather immediately of you getting in, you're cutting because it's probably just going to come back down, stop you out anyway. So just cut it, retry later. Like I said, I'm risk averse. It's got to be working quickly in the morning session without a question, or you just leave it alone. I played so many list of first screen days. I know the nature of them. So why bother holding till the risk when you know if it's not working in a certain time frame, it's most likely going to fail. So of course, starts breaking out, volume starts coming in, and I'm like, shit, missed it. But it had a really hard pull, came all the way down, and at this point, I'm thinking that others may be thinking, oh, it made its move and that's it. But to me, all I'm really seeing is, look at that volume. Churning great volume. We set up a new level. I could take it as, a quote unquote secondary attempt, even though I doubt many people were in the beginning. It was just a quick squeeze. But I could play it, as a list of first screen day. In my opinion, a secondary attempt. So I'm going to go a little smaller. And it was going sideways. Was I rebuying it there? Yes, I was buying it. Tried to get it at 86. only filled 1,500 shares, and then I added along the way. I was adding up here one because I was like, volume's coming back. This is working. Risk reward's not all that bad. 20 cents. You never know. This could spike all the way to two. It has a really good shot of, breaking the previous day highs. And when that happens, these plays could get really strong. The previous day highs was 120 level. So it ended up coming up, breaking that. And, what did I say? When it breaks the previous day highs, it could get strong. My rationale is because any swing shorts that have really been patient and anyone who shorted it yesterday are all underwater, so it probably just leads to a bigger squeeze. And we spiked up, we halted. I did not expect a halt on this name whatsoever today, so I sold into the halt in the 140s. I had like 5,000 shares max, locked in a good profit, and then it ended up continuing to run. I thought this one was dead, but it did come back. But now it's, more of a short pattern. We're up 100%. This is something that will most likely fade into the close. I don't know if it's dead yet because normally you got to wait for the hard crack. And clearly, 148 to 120, let's call it 30 cents was not a hard crack. It did not kill it. It came right back. Here, let's call it 150 to about 50-cent crack, and it came back. So this needs to go parabolic or just kind of go sideways and start fizzling off. But, this is not something I'm going to be shorting here just because it's up 100%, 90%. Doesn't matter. It could go, this could go all the way back to 2. It could go to 250 before it wants to die. It could go to 3. Now, the odds I don't think are that high, but it could definitely spike up to the 180s too, where it churned and consolidated all in this range before this halt up type move. And it has a nature of spiking. It has a nature of spiking big, and I don't want to get caught on the front side. There's a lot of shorts in this. Wait for them to get squeezed out, and then maybe I could give it an attempt with small size because I really don't like playing these list of first screen day shorts on day one as much anymore. But if it's something where I feel like, okay, the shorts are blown out, then I'll give it a shot. Duo is starting to tighten up here quite a bit. This is just a note I wrote too that I want to go over on Duo. I always find that I get in, get a quick shakeout, and then things tend to work. So Duo should probably be buying some here. Let's see. Uh, I just don't know. Huh. Looking at the tape on the other screen, and it's just big size at 135. Big ass came in now at 134. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone for now. There's no reason to force more trades on subpar patterns. It already made its move. I should have had my 20,000 shares from down here. Sell into the spike. A plus list first green day. Now I only had 5,000, but I'm happy I got back in quickly, with some conviction. And yeah, that's that. I'll keep an eye on it maybe later in the day. I want to see longer consolidation. Um, Other than that, I guess we could. This POFCY OTC huge spike. I wish I saw this. I would have shorted into this parabolic dip bought down here, but it is what it is. Can't catch everything. Um, just keeping an eye here on Duo. Because now mm, if I were to buy it here, it has to work rather immediately, or I would be cutting it rather immediately. It's the same type of thing that I say in the morning. How if it's not working quickly and without question, just cut it off and retry later after it holds up, after it consolidates, after the odds are much better. But yeah, I'll leave it alone for now. Other than that, AMC, again, I want to see it hold green, consolidate for a longer period of time. It's just not doing it right now. You know, GME's still weak, under VWAP, not green, not breaking the highs. Leave it alone. Why bother? Why fight? Why struggle? Just be patient. Patience is an edge. One thing I learned, patience is a big, big edge. So I'm going to have some patience. And, yeah, CTNT, no. OCG, no, no, no. No swings for me today, most likely. No, no, no. None of my swings are. Oh, CGC. Alright, I did just buy some duo right here. But if it doesn't happen to work, I'm out. So, that's that.